The Rockies take on the Braves, 12:20 p.m. Eastern first pitch. Atlanta's minus 185, totals 8.5. If you like Colorado in an upset victory on the road here, they're plus $1.55 for some money line cash. They're also minus 130, catching the 1.5 on the run line. German Marquez on the mound here for the Rockies. Ian Anderson for the Braves. We went 4-1 in our 5 premium sports picks on my BrockPage.com website yesterday. And if you want to see which one of these free YouTube picks I'm actually betting on personally, there's only one way to do that, and that's to sign up for a membership on that site. And once again, that's BrockPage.com. We're also 4-0 in our last 4 extra daily picks on that very same page. And if you want to access today's extra daily pick, it's only going to cost you just $2.99. We currently have over 775 members who are signed up and active on that site. And once again, if you want to see which one of these free YouTube picks I'm actually betting on personally, there's only one way to do that, and that's to sign up for a membership on my website. And once again, that's BrockPage.com. Now, German Marquez, he has double-digit losses on the year for Colorado. The Rockies have won just 23 out of 74 road games this year, and they're dead last in the league in road hits. Now, they're taking on a first-place Atlanta team who's in the top 10 in scoring. Freddie Freeman is batting .297 with 30 home runs and 78 RBI. The first baseman's also in the top 25 in batting average, home runs, and OPS. Sometimes you draw a blank there, but we got the pertinent info out there. Now, the Braves also have Ian Anderson on the mound here today. 7-5 record with a .361 ERA and 107 strikeouts. When it comes to the total on this one, 5 out of Atlanta's last 8 home games got over the number. 39 and 24 to the over against National League opponents at home for the entire season. We got Lil Jon in the East Side boys. They represent Atlanta, although it looks like he's wearing a Mets uniform. But anyway, give me the Atlanta Braves minus 1.5 and the over 8.5. Next game, Reds, Pirates, 12:35 Eastern Standard Time. Cincinnati's minus $1.80, totals 8.5. Tyler Mahle for Cincinnati, Connor Overton for Pittsburgh. Now, the Pirates are on a 2-game winning streak, 6-2 straight up in their last 8. And as bad as they've been offensively at times, the Buccos are still in the top 10 in the majors in fewest strikeouts at the plate. Brian Reynolds, he's batting .299 with 23 home runs and 86 RBI. The left fielder is currently 15th in Major League Baseball in both batting average and OPS. They're taking on a sputtering Cincinnati club who's on a 4-game losing streak, and they also dropped 7 out of their last 9. Now, Cincinnati has a losing road record. Their pitching staff walks 3.8 batters a game. When it comes to the number in this one, 6 out of the Reds' last 8 road games stayed under the total. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh saw 5 out of their last 8 at PNC Park stay under the line themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Pittsburgh Pirates plus 1.5 and the under 8.5. Next game, A's Royals, 2:10 p.m. East. Oakland's minus $1.25, totals 10. Paul Blackburn for Oakland, Daniel Lynch for Kansas City. Lynch has a .537 ERA. The Royals have a losing record at Kauffman Stadium, and they're in the bottom 5 in home hits allowed. They're taking on an A's club who ranks in the top 3 in the majors in road hits. Matt Olson's got a .917 OPS along with 101 RBI. Now, the first baseman ranks in the top 10 in the league in home runs, RBI, and OPS. This Oakland lineup is currently in the top 10 in road scoring. When it comes to the total on this one, Oakland's 35 and 26 to the under when they travel. Give me the Oakland A's minus $1.25 and the under 10 runs. Next contest, Angels, White Sox, 2:10 p.m. East. The Chicago White Sox are minus 190, totals 8.5. Alex Cobb for Los Angeles, Ronaldo Lopez for Chicago. The White Sox failed to cash in on the run line in 7 out of their last 10 ball games, 1-4 against the number in their last 5 at home. They also lost 3 out of their last 5 ball games where Lopez made the start. They're taking on an Angels club who's in the top 10 in hits. Shohei Ohtani's got an OPS of 956, which is 5th in the majors. Now, Sho's also got 44 home runs, and he also knocked in 94. Alex Cobb is taking the mound here today. He's 7-3 with a 3.82 ERA. When it comes to the total on this one, 6 out of Los Angeles' last 10 meetings with Chicago got over the line. Give me the LA Angels plus 1.5 and the over 8.5 runs. Next ball game, Padres Giants 345 East. San Francisco's minus 185, total 7.5. Kevin Gausman for San Francisco, Pierce Johnson for San Diego. Johnson's 3-2 with a 2.98 ERA. These Padres pitchers are in the top 10 in fewest runs allowed per contest. They're also averaging nearly double-digit strikeouts a game. They're taking on a Giants club who lost 9-6 yesterday to the Pods. Their lineup's also in the bottom 10 in the league in strikeouts per game at the plate. Now, total-wise, 7 out of San Francisco's last 10 ball games stayed under the number. 3-1 of the under in their last 4 at home. Meanwhile, the Pods are 4-2 to the under in their last 6 when traveling. I'm going to lean toward the San Diego Padres plus 1.5 and the under 7.5 runs. Next ball game, it is going to be Yankees versus the Orioles, 505 East. Yankees are minus 245, totals 10. Jordan Montgomery for New York, Chris Ellis for Baltimore. Ellis comes into today's start with a 2.08 ERA overall for the season. The O's have also successfully cashed in on the run line in 6 out of their last 10 ball games. Cedric Mullins is batting .297 with 29 home runs and 56 ribbies. The center fielder is in the top 20 in both batting average and OPS. They're taking on a Yankees club who failed to cash in on the run line in 8 out of their last 10 themselves. This Yankee lineup's in the bottom 10 in hits per game at the plate. Jordan Montgomery's taking the mound here today with a 5-6 record and a 1.25 whip. And when it comes to the total on this one, New York saw 3 out of their last 5 road games get over the line. Meanwhile, the Orioles have gone 60% to the over in their last 10 themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Baltimore Orioles plus 1.5 and the over 10. Next ball game, Cubs, Phillies, 6:05 Eastern first pitch. Philadelphia's minus 145, totals 8.5. Kyle Hendricks for Chicago. No confirmed starter yet for the Fightins. And speaking of the Phillies, they've dropped 6 out of their last 8 ball games, bottom half of the league in home scoring. The Phillies have failed to cash in on the run line in 5 out of their last 6 ball games at Citizens Bank Park. They're taking on a Chicago club who's got Kyle Hendricks on the bump here today, 14-6 record with 122 strikeouts. The Cubs have also successfully cashed in on the run line in 7 out of their last 10 ball games. And when it comes to the total in this one, Chicago's gone 8-2 to the over in their last 10 meetings with Philadelphia. Meanwhile, the Phils saw 3 out of their last 6 home games get over the number themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Chicago Cubs plus 1.5. And the over 8 runs. Next ball game, Tigers, Rays, 7:10 Eastern start time. Tampa Bay Rays are minus 210, numbers 8.5. Lewis Head for the Rays, Tyler Alexander for Detroit. Alexander's got a 4.09 ERA and a 1.27 whip. The Tigers are in the bottom 5 in the majors in hits allowed per contest on the road. They're taking on a first-place Rays team who leads the majors in scoring. Brandon Lowe's hit 34 home runs and knocked in 85. Meanwhile, Austin Meadows is 8th in the majors with 99 runs batted in. Now, total-wise, 6 out of Tampa's last 10 meetings with Detroit stayed under the number. Meanwhile, the Tigers went 60% to the under in their last 10 themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Tampa Bay Rays minus 1.5 and the under 8.5 runs. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup. It is going to be Astros versus the Rangers, 8:05 Eastern Standard Time. Houston's minus 220, totals 8.5. Framber Valdez for the Astros, Glenn Otto for Texas. Otto's got a 6.92 ERA. The last place Rangers have a win percentage of just .372. And they're second to last in the majors in scoring on average per game, really struggling at the plate. They're taking on a first-place Astros team who actually leads the league in hits. Yuli Gurriel, he's hitting .315. He's fourth in the bigs in batting average. Meanwhile, Yordan Alvarez has hit 30 home runs and knocked in 95. When it comes to the pitching in this one, Framber Valdez is 10-5 with a .326 ERA and 109 strikeouts. When it comes to the total in this one, Houston 7-3 to the over in their last 10 ball games, 70% to the over in their last 10 meetings with Texas as well. Meanwhile, the Rangers have gone 7-3 to the over in their last 10 outings themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Houston Astros -1.5. And the over 8.5 runs. And with that, guys, now it's time for our quick pick recap. Powered to you by my website at brockpage.com, where we are 4-0 in our last 4 extra daily picks on that page. I like Atlanta -1.5, over 8.5. Pittsburgh +1.5, under 8.5 runs. Oakland -1.25, under 10. LA Angels +1.5, over 8.5. San Diego +1.5, under 7.5 runs. Baltimore +1.5, over 10. Chicago Cubs +1.5, over 8.5. Tampa Bay -1.5, under 8.5 runs. And before I give you my next and final free pick for the video, one final reminder that we are once again 4-0 in our last 4 extra daily picks on my website at brockpage.com. And if you want to access today's extra daily pick, it's only going to cost you just $2.99. I'm going to lean toward the Houston Astros -1.5 and the over 8.5 runs. And with that, guys, now it's time for our shout out of the day. And that's going to go to Loosely Ackland, who said yesterday, Brock, I like your picks. You have good knowledge on the teams. I will be listening to you the whole season. And Loosely Ackland, I look forward to giving you the content for the entire season. Thank you for the comment. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on brockpage.com. Now, if you guys do end up getting a membership here today, just keep in mind, you're going to get billed the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So if you do end up getting a membership here today, you're going to get access to that content all the way through the end of September. I always tell folks the earlier in the month you sign up, the better. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, guys, happy Thursday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at brockpage.com.